Hi, Kelsey. Hi, Susie. What's going on, guys? Talk to me. Help me help you understand what's going on in your reality. Proptius, HW. I normally don't come on this late, but I figured I'd give it a shot. Today was an impromptu live. There's a lot of interesting noises out here. Hi, Training Winnie. Hi, JR. Does anybody have any questions? Hey, Fran, what's up? It's been a long time. I know I haven't done a live in almost, wow, like 2.5 weeks. I just have had an insane amount of stuff going on. I'm working on different projects. I'm going back to school actually to learn some new cool things. Yeah, and then I just needed a break. Honestly, I think every coach goes through periods of time where we just need a step, you know? Take a beat for ourselves. Aw, thank you. It's all natural. No, that's awesome. Congratulations. Like, it's a big thing, right? Being on vacation. All right, guys, let's get into it. Tell me, what are you struggling with? What do you need help with? I'm on my patio. Hello. Hi, Samara, Sherry. Yeah, I waited a few minutes because I figured some people didn't see it. And there's a bird on my patio who decided to have 2 more eggs. So I had to like build a little fortress so Chip can't get up to the bird. And I have to periodically watch him. Hi, Mr. Juicebox, what's up? What's going on, guys? Does anybody have any questions as far as manifestation? What's going on? Tell me. I don't know why that song, Tell Me Why, Backstreet Boys is stuck in my head. Does anybody have questions? Y'all are so quiet today. Maybe people are just feeling the vibe. That's usually what happens. Hi, Maria. Hi, Shannon. Hi, Ladusa. Hi, Slidey. What's going on? Hi, Slidey Hood. Let's talk manifestation because I feel that there are a lot of things that people talk about, but they don't elaborate about, right? Like, you'll always hear things are always working out for you. Oh, do you believe the male bird came to check on his mate? Hold on, I have to grab my dog. Come here, That was interesting to say the least. So, another bird. So I have a, guys, this could literally be a show. Like, I had to grab Chip because I was scared the bird was gonna attack him. He was sniffing around, but like, that was not expected. I have 2 mourning doves that decided to plant a nest on my patio, and they saw Chip, and they saw, the mourning dove saw Chip, and the male came to protect the female. They got, I guess the female mourning dove has some good self-concept. Okay, so let's get into it. How do you get rid of a third? Take your focus off of it. What third? Deal with the insecurities that created them. You have insecurities that created that person, right? You need to stop doing whatever's keeping them there. I don't know what you're doing. You're stalking, don't do it. Third party is always created by insecurities of not being good enough, not feeling chosen. I wish I could show you guys this. Like, they're both just like, oh, they take turns. Okay, I was not expecting that. Like, one bird jumped on the nest, and the other one, like, I wish I could show you guys. Do you see the birdies right there? They just exchanged, and one's standing guard. This is hilarious. Like, I'm trying to coach you guys, and like, there's birds. All right, so let's get to this. How do you get rid of a third party? You need to get rid of your insecurities that created them in the first place. And you need to stop thinking that you're not good enough and that you're not chosen. Honestly, you probably don't feel safe in relationships. Like you're gonna get hurt or there's someone always better than you. You need to change those things within yourself, right? Start feeling safe in relationships, start feeling chosen, start feeling loved and like you matter and like a priority. And usually that will correct it. Guys, I can only give you general advice based off of like what you're telling me. I don't know enough to give you coaching. I can only tell you, hey, this is what's gonna work. So what third party? There is no third party. Take your focus off of it. Got my SP, but he asked for patience. Okay, got my SP, he asked for patience and quiet for days after meetings. Loving and caring. I don't know what you mean by that, sweetie. You got it. How long is the wait list? The wait list is probably about 3 weeks to a month out. If you need coaching immediately, I would recommend booking maybe an email coaching session, but I can't guarantee with that I don't know what the turnaround on that is going to be. Might be a little faster. If not, book an emergency session, but emergency sessions are more expensive. Okay, trying to manifest my ex back, but I'm having trouble. It's a recent breakup. So what have you been doing? When you're struggling with manifesting them back, it's usually because you're not the version of you that can manifest them back. You're probably still focusing on that past version of them. You need to become the version of you that has them, and that's the version of you that's calmer, the version of you that trusts, the version of you that knows it's working in your favor. You need to work on your self-concept when it comes to yourself and to that other person, okay? It's hard, guys. A coach on a live can only give you like general advice. You know that, right? Okay, Chip's jumping down and now I have to watch because I'm interested to see what him and the birdie are gonna do. It's like a stare down. My dog against the bird. Hold on. You guys wanna watch? Look. Look. Hold on, where is he? Here's Chip and there's the bird. Do you see the bird just staring at him? Do you see how I put a chair there and the little bicycle? Come here, Chip. Come to mama. Come here. Leave. I am not taking any chances. I don't think the bird would harm him, but... All right, let's go back. Is there hold on, you guys. There are a couple questions I missed. Okay. Is there science between thought transmission? It's just whatever you're predominantly thinking and believing is what they're thinking, period. So what version are you, okay, what are you embodying mostly? Thought transmission's instant, but it's not like, let's say 80% of the time you're thinking and feel, like, let's just say you believe they want nothing to do with you, but you're trying to get them to think they miss me, they want me. But if the other thing wins because you haven't shifted to that version of you yet. Do you see what I'm saying? It can be instant, but you need to make that your predominant focus and then that shifts. But then you have to believe that's possible as well. I might have to take this inside because, do you see what's going on with Chip right now? But thought transmission is real. And it can be instant as long as you've become that version of you that's sending out the right signal, right? Where is your predominant focus on? Where are you mostly dwelling in your head? And what do you actually believe is possible? If you don't believe certain things are possible, then it's not going to work out for you. You're not always going to know when you believe it's possible. You'll know it's happening because you'll see it reflected in your outer reality, or that will be your new thoughts. The whole point of affirmations is to eventually think those thoughts, right? To automatically push that out at some point. It's just meant to help you shift. It's a technique. How can I stop being lazy when doing affirmations? I don't know what you mean by that. How are you being lazy? You guys, you need to be more, you're not consistent, then become more consistent. Are you trying to fight your thoughts? I had to grab Chip. That bird was aggressive. My friend and I hadn't talked to message me to say she dreamed about my wedding. Is this birds before land? Could be. Very well could be. Because everyone is you pushed out, right? But signs don't proceed, they follow. So it's whatever you believe it is. So be like, yeah, that's my bridge. Oh, thank you. You think I look pretty? It's very sweet. Can you manifest SP back into a relationship while still being friends and talking? Yes. If you're trying to manifest a different body, do you think seeing people with that body you want is birds before land? Can be. A lot. It could be also that your focus is predominantly on it. Birds before land, I feel like a lot of people, birds before land means like it's actually like a sign that means that your manifestation's been planted, but a lot of people are like, that's birds before land. Some things are not birds before land. It depends. I don't know what you've been doing. So if you're feeling good and if it's just odd, if it's been happening since the get-go, then I'd say no. But if it's just been happening recently, then yes. Does that make sense? Birds before land come out of nowhere. They're not like, because a lot of times we'll be like, that's birds before land, that's birds before land. You can make technically anything birds before land, but I don't believe everything is birds before land. That's just my own personal opinion. If you're trying to manifest, let me look. If you're trying to manifest a different body, hold on. Advice on feeling insecure: become secure. Work on being secure. You need to become the version of, guys, you can't live, besties, you can't live this life where you're doing things that cause you to be insecure, right? So if eating shitty food makes you feel insecure, stop doing it. If not going to the gym makes you feel insecure, stop doing it. What would the version of you that's secure be doing? Maybe, and I'm not saying you have to do these things. The version of you that's secure wouldn't be stalking. The version of you that's secure is telling yourself nice things throughout the day. You're living in the end, right? You're doing things that are helpful, not helpful, right? You're not sitting there eating a carton of ice cream watching like bad movies. Not that you can't have those moments, you can, but your habits have a lot to do with why you are the person that you are. You need to be the person being that now, but you also need to deal with the triggers when they come up. Does that make sense? You also need to work on, right? You need to shift, and you shift either through affirmations, aspirations, living in the end, or whatever works for you. It's like I prefer living in the end. I do too. Thanks for the hard start, Kadzin. Self-concept, yes. I need your help. Killa, if you need your help, just know I offer one-on-one coaching. The link's in the bio. I offer different types. I'll say affirmations, say it throughout the day, but all of a sudden I will get negative thoughts. Why do you guys try to control the negative thoughts? The negative thoughts are just there because you're not in the right state, right? You're not the person you need to be yet, so that's normal. You don't fight the thoughts, you allow them. You shut off the mind and you feel it in your body, the trigger, so it can go away. A lot of people think like, I have to get rid of the negative thoughts. No. I understand that some coaches teach from this perspective, but in my experience, that's bullshit because you're always going to have negative thoughts. The thing is, do you actually believe them? And then the other thing is too, like, when you get yourself to a better state, those thoughts, won't be a part of it because that's not a part, that version of you won't have those thoughts, right? And the thing is, the thought doesn't mean anything. So you're thinking a thought you don't like, okay? You have to deal with the trigger, the insecurity, the resistance. That's there so you can see what's really going on. It's just there to show you what's within you. You just have to know how to dissolve it. That's it. My anxiety is so high. Guys, okay, so let's talk about, my anxiety is so high, there are so many third parties. How do you know there's so many third parties? All right, so I'm trying to think of like the best way to say this. A lot of you will be like, I'm afraid of this. I need to change this. I don't like this. But then you go stalk. You go ask a million of your friends about them. You'll like drive past their house. This isn't how it works. Like the version of you that has them wouldn't be doing those things, right? So the reason a lot of times you're getting triggered is because you're continuing to do the habitual habits that keep you in that state, right? That version of you that keeps you like stuck in that loop. You need to break out of that. So when it comes to like, guys, why even focus on a third party? Change the insecurities within. Okay, there's third parties in the picture. Cool. Now I know I have insecurities I need to deal with, right? What are those insecurities? What has created the third party? Not feeling good enough, not feeling important, not feeling chosen, don't feel safe, right? Or you feel that maybe there's other people that are better than you, which comes back to I'm not good enough anyways. Work on those insecurities within you. How do you work through them? You feel them, right? When they come up, you feel the insecurity, and then you shift to a version of you through the techniques that doesn't have that anymore, that feels secure, that feels safe. So you would affirm, what's the opposite of that? What is the version of me that always feels secure feel? What is the version of me that feels confident feel? What is the version of me that's always chosen and first best feel? Or you could just say that with an affirmation. You could do it with inner conversations. There's different ways you can do this. Thankfully and perfectly. Oh, hi, Tikanis. Should I focus more on self-concept than specific person affirmations? Yes. You should always focus more on self-concept. You don't need a number. People used to say like 80% self-concept, 20% SP. It doesn't have to be like that. But why do you want to? Here's the thing. A lot of you should always focus more on your self-concept than your SP, number one. Always. I think that's healthier. But so many of you make your person like everything to you. And that's why a lot of you can't shift. Because you need this person to feel secure, safe, to feel good enough and loved. How's that going to work? It doesn't work, and then you feel stuck, right? Because you haven't given those things to yourself. I don't know if you guys saw the video that I just did. It's like your desires, you don't need your desires, they need you. You need to be the version of you that has those things so they can come in. And then you also have to believe it's possible to bring them in. If you don't believe it's possible, they're not going to come in. Do you see what I'm saying? What could I say to manifest weight loss? What are you doing? Okay. Guys, I will say this over and over again on lives because I think some of you don't really, I understand you come on for advice from coaches, which is great. We're always here. I'm always here to give you advice. I can't speak on behalf of other coaches. I can speak upon myself. And I've decided I'm only going to speak on my own behalf because I am me and other people have other experiences and other ideals and, you know, other ideologies about what's right and what's wrong and what their limits are and whatever, right? Everyone's their own person. I am me, so I can speak for me. You'll come to me with a question, which is great. I can answer it generally, but I don't know what you've been doing. Because a lot of times this question isn't really going to always give you the answer. What can I say to manifest weight loss and lower body fat percentage? I don't know. Do you believe that's possible? Do affirmations work for you? What have you been doing to help yourself get to that weight loss? Do you believe that just by focusing on your ideal body weight, seeing yourself in the mirror is going to get you there? Do you believe saying these affirmations are going to work for you? Are they going to help you shift? Are you dealing with the resistance when it comes up? What technique do you use to manifest? What technique works best for you? Maybe inner conversations is the best for you. I can tell you how to live in the end, but I don't know how it's gonna pan out. Can I give you affirmations? Sure. You could just be like, I have low body fat percentage. Isn't it wonderful? I've always had it. Isn't it wonderful? I lose weight easily and effortlessly. Isn't it wonderful? I can eat whatever I want and not gain a pound. But are those gonna work for you if your beliefs are the opposite? Do you see what I'm saying? But I would just focus on being just using an affirmation. Sometimes the best affirmation you could do for weight loss is I now have the perfect body. I've always had the perfect body, right? For me, that's perfect because that doesn't require anything else. Isn't it wonderful I have my ideal dream body? Isn't it wonderful I can eat whatever I want and not gain a pound? Isn't it wonderful that I have a high metabolism? Isn't it wonderful that I have a low body BMI? To me, BMI doesn't mean anything, but that's up to you. The world was sending vibes with burn sounds. Bird, you mean bird? Hold on, guys. I get so depressed and upset, and I ask my angels if there is anything, and I get nothing. I don't know what you mean by that. What? Okay, you can ask your angels. What do you mean I get nothing? What? Oh, I don't understand what you mean by that. Then I fall into the rabbit hole of manifestation is BS. So you think the rabbit hole of manifestation is BS? Well, if you think it's BS, then it's not going to work for you. If you think manifestation is bullshit, this doesn't work, well, guess what? If that's your predominant belief, and if that's what you're thinking mostly, that's what's going to get pushed out into your reality. I'm going to let Chip in. Give me 1 second, guys. Go inside. I'm staying out here. You go inside. Good boy. Go. Go. I'm coming too. Go. Let's go. Come on, Chip. No. Come to Mom. All right. So let's go back into this. When you manifest someone, is it bad to think of them every once in a while? No. Here's the truth. You can think about someone technically as much as you want, but if you are really the version of you that had them, would you be obsessing over them? I'm not saying that's what you're doing, but some of you will be like, I think about them all the time. Okay, but is it from the right state? Are you thinking of the right version of them? Or are you thinking about all the things in the past? Come here, Chip. I don't think. Can you talk about being in the state? What do you mean? I don't do tarot readings. I don't know why you think I do, Selma. Can you talk about being in the state? What state? What state are you looking to okay, we can talk about states, no problem. What are you trying to shift to? Do you see what I'm saying? Any tips for staying consistent? Just stay consistent. Make a routine for yourself. Imagine as you're waking up and going to bed, and then once or twice throughout the day. Guys, consistency is anytime you think of your desire. Mental diet, right? Make sure you're thinking of what you want versus what you don't want. That's all it is. What happens if you constantly think about SP and get intrusive thoughts? That's because that's because you're not in the right state. You're not the version of you that can manifest them, which is fine, and that's why we do, right? We use techniques to help us shift. What do I think of tarot readings? It's up to you. Use your better discernment. I've done plenty of videos on this. There's a train. You know, I've realized being out here is not ideal. I was hoping to upload this, and I was like, oh, perfect. And then I'm like, it's just been a crapshoot since I've been out here, but that's okay. A different version of them state? A different version of who? Your SP? Guys, be more specific in your questions. Okay. Do you think affirmations are a good way to change mindset? Depends. Does it work for you? What I think is irrelevant. Does it work for you? Is that your preferred technique? Do you do better with inner conversations? Do you do better with scripting? Do you do better with living? Do you do better with imagination, a vision board? What works for you? Guided meditations. It's different for everyone. If we get negative thoughts, can we just affirm, I'm still going to get what I want? Why are you so worried about the negative thoughts? The negative thoughts are just there to show you what's still there. You can't fight the negative thoughts. You just have to stop your mind and feel what you're feeling, because they're going to trigger you. The thoughts are attached to a feeling. You have to deal with the feeling. You have to deal with the trigger. That's how you get rid of them. Does that make sense? Is it okay if I take distance from SP? It's your reality. What do you think? What's best for you? You don't have to. You could if you want to. Do you feel your affirmations? I don't do affirmations. I do affirmations. I personally do not resonate with affirmations. I mean, I've used them in the past. I just do better with what would the version of me that knows this feel? What would the version of me that thinks this feel? Do you know what I'm saying? Oh, thank you. That was very nice. Thank you, Zainab. Hi, Joyce. What's going on, guys? It's been a strange day, to say the least. Okay. Let me see. Any advice for someone in limbo with SP? What do you mean by that? That you don't have them back? How can we work on feeling like priority? There we go. So feeling like a priority, you need to make yourself a priority in people's lives. Guys, it's not just affirming, it's being a priority. What does a priority do? Right? If you're a priority, you make sure the people in your reality are treating you like a priority. That doesn't mean go off on everyone that doesn't, but a person that knows that they're a priority holds themselves a certain way. You speak a certain way. You don't deal with certain things. Like when people come at me rude or they're not right, I tell them, I don't care. That's not against my manifestations. You have to be authentic to who you are and what feels right to you. Healthy boundaries are very important, right? So if I notice that someone is being like, not treating me like a priority, of course it's within my self-concept and I need to change that. But I'll let them know, hey, that was not cool. Like, I don't flip out at people. I don't get mad. I just say, hey, like, I didn't like that. Or, you know, this made me feel that way. You have to be honest about how you feel. A lot of people feel like they can't say or be themselves, which is a hunk of bullshit. I used to think that too when I first came to this. But as I've gone on, I've learned that you can't be someone else and you can't pretend to not be upset about something. That doesn't mean you go off on people, right? There's a difference between reacting and responding, but you can definitely respond. Okay. We cool, but it feels like work. It feels like work because you think it's work. Change that thought. Stop. You need to work. Guys, when some of you, besties, when some of you think this takes work, it's hard. It's because you have a belief that things take work. It has nothing to do with your SP. A lot of your core root beliefs is about life in general, and they bleed into other areas of your life, right? So if you believe things are hard, they take really hard work, things don't come easily, you know, good things, what's that belief that people say? Good things don't come easily, or good things take hard work. I forget which one it is, but the best things in life don't come easy or some bullshit. If you believe these things, they're gonna pour into other areas of your life, not just, you know, work and stuff. You're gonna see it in other areas. So, okay, so if you have these beliefs, you need to change these beliefs, right? Things in my life come easily to me. Everything in my life is easy. You have to become that person. Things always work out for me. Things have always worked out better than I've ever imagined. Yeah, good things take time. That's all bullshit. It's just, here's the thing. You need to embody the state of you that believes these things are true. So you need to become the version of you. What would the version of you that knows that they're unstoppable feel, right? What would the version of you, it really depends, but it's a combination of a lot of different things, guys. So just start saying, I would just start saying everything's easy for me. Nothing takes work. Everything's instant instant for me. I can manifest as easily as I blink. Work with that, okay? A lot of you think you're dealing with an SP issue, but you're really dealing with an issue about life. But it bleeds into other areas. And sometimes we have specific beliefs about relationships versus work. Kind of goes into other areas as well. We can still set boundaries while ignoring the 3D. Of course you can. Who told you you can't? I used to think that too. But I mean, if your SP is calling, you don't not pick up if you haven't talked in 2 or 3 months. Of course you can set boundaries, but set boundaries, right? In a good way, in a healthy way. Not in a like, don't sit there and flip out at people in your 3D reality. Be confident. But set a boundary, because think about it. The version of you that doesn't put up with bullshit, let's say that you're in line and some lady starts yelling at you for no reason, right? And you have a belief you get disrespected. You have a right to say, hey, you don't talk to me like that. That's disrespectful. That doesn't mean tell her to fuck off, but be like, hey, I don't appreciate your tone. That's disrespectful. You have a right to say that. Or if someone does something to you and you're close to them, right? You could be like, this makes me feel disrespected. Can you please not do that anymore? You're welcome. A lot of times you guys can't see the underlining thing because you don't know how to look for it. It's much more than that. It's actually a lot simpler than that, but a lot of you don't know how to embody a state. So I try to answer the questions as easily as possible. Ooh, there are mosquitoes everywhere. Anybody else got any questions? Okay. I'm not even going to make this about the question. I'm going to talk about this in general because I want to answer more than just one question. Can you manifest something that's not meant for you? Like, is it messing with fate? No, because everything is meant for you. You get to choose what that is. So if your heart desires it, it's meant to be yours. That should answer your question. Viola? I think that your name's Viola. Hi, Isabel Torres. Anything else, guys? Let's talk about. So sometimes lately I've been really thinking about things that I can teach you guys. I'm gonna do probably a revision class at some point, and I want to do also an affirmation class to teach you how to make affirmations based off of your beliefs. Can we change hot and cold behavior? Yes, you can, but you need to become the version of you that lives in the end state, right? So you need to persist in what you want versus what you don't want. So you need to deal with the triggers when they come up, transmute them, and then live in the end. And sometimes the reason a lot of you teeter-totter between the two realities, right? Like having a hard time living in the end and the current version you have is because you might be fetching too far. You know what I mean? Like you might not believe marriage is possible, so you might be better off just imagining living together or them being your boyfriend or whatever. Do you see what I'm saying? Always aim for what's more approachable, more easier. And then you can manifest in steps. I don't usually recommend it, but if believing you have a baby together and you've been married for 5 years is not believable, then believe that you've been dating for 6 months and you're happy. That's okay. Live in that end, and then when you're together, aim for the living together or being married. That's why a lot of you go back and forth and teeter-totter. And it's also because you don't believe in it. And it's also because a lot of you don't believe a lot of you also forget who you are. You don't remember that you're in total control, that you're the God of your reality. But that's another thing too. Here's the other truth that a lot of people don't tell you. You technically don't need to believe you're the God of your reality. You could believe that you manifest through God or that anything is possible through universe, source, your higher self. You don't even have to think that you're God in order to manifest, because that's how Christians manifest, right? How do people manifest in their reality? Everybody does it all the time. Some people do it through religion because they think that anything is possible through God, or anybody thinks that anything's possible through Buddha or whoever they resonate with. You want to go inside, Chip? Come here. How do you get past missing the physical touch? Close your eyes and imagine they're there with you. I mean, the truth is you can literally close your eyes and feel the same thing that you would feel if they were next to you. But why do you need I would say that's probably your best bet, but you don't need their physical touch. That's just a belief you have, right? I would say the best part is just when you miss them, maybe first you got to deal with, here's the thing, you can miss someone. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a normal human emotion. And if you want to feel their touch, close your eyes, imagine them touching your cheek, kissing you, making love to you, whatever works for you in that moment, or just kissing you. The truth is, if you close your eyes and really get into the senses, right, and feel them, you'll feel them. There's been times where I've imagined people and it felt so real, it felt like it happened. I would say that's the best way to get over it. But then you got to deal with the insecurities. Why are you missing them? Because they're not there. What does that mean? You're not with them. What does that mean? That you're focusing on the fact of the lack. A lot of you think you're living in the end, but you're not. You're living in the lack of them. Some people, by living in the end, it triggers them. But that's only because they don't know how to like surrender and trust that like everything's unfolding perfectly. A lot of times it's like you'll live in the end and you're like, where is it? Or you'll live in the end and then you think that you almost feel unraveled by not seeing movement. It's a combination of different stuff. Let me let Chip in. Go inside. I'm not going in. It's all you, buddy. He wanted inside, and now he's like, why'd you let me in and not come in with me? Okay. Funny story. I went out to try on rings. We were curious, and the next morning, I didn't get the second part of that. How to deal with anxiety when it comes to manifestation? Feel it. You have anxiety that it's not going to happen. You got to deal with the anxiety. You got to feel it. Oh, come on out. Choose, Chip, sit. Hello, guys. I really need to get one of those like stands, like the ring light stands. Maybe you guys a little closer. Is that better? Okay. Just gonna be on here for like 10 or 15 more minutes and I'm gonna go. Hold on, guys. Okay. How do you deal with the anxiety when it comes to manifesting? Why do you have anxiety? Because you don't think it's gonna happen? Do you feel like you're wasting your time? People usually are anxious because they think like someone else is going to take their manifestation or because they don't think it's working. Right? So you need to deal with that when it comes up. You shut off the mind, you feel into your body where you feel it and just let it dissolve. And then you go back into living in the end right after that. When you first started applying for these concepts, did you struggle? How much time did it take? It doesn't matter how much time it took me. See, philosophy, okay, I like to be brutally honest with you guys so you can learn from me, right? If you're asking me how long did it take me to apply these techniques, you're worried that it's taking you too long to apply these techniques, so you have a fear about time. You need to work on that. It doesn't matter if it took me a month or 6 months or 6 years. It doesn't matter. Because then you're going to compare yourself and then you're going to get insecure, so you need to work on that. Like, oh, I'm not catching up. Not everyone is going to catch on to this fast. Some people are going to catch on in a month. Some people 6 months. Some people like a few years. It takes time. I'm not saying 6 years is a bit much. Meaning like, how do I explain this in the right way? There were a lot of times I thought I really understood Neville like a few years ago. And then like a new layer would uncover itself and I'd be like, oh, that's what that meant. And then another layer would uncover itself. You digest this in layers. It's the best way I can describe it. When you're ready, you're ready. Stop thinking you're not ready and stop thinking that you need a time for everything. Like, oh, well, it took Maria 3 months, so it should take me 2 months. It should take me 5 months. When you're comparing yourself to other people, you're not going to get the results you want. And then you're also in lack, right? You're focusing on time, on things. Everything in this reality is malleable. It's like clay. Time is an illusion too. Time doesn't even really exist. Only if you think it does. I mean, it technically does in, right, our 3D reality, but not in the way you think it does. You know how many times I've thought about the past and I'm like not here? Like I'll remember something from childhood and I'm like, it's like I'm there, a little girl again, re-experiencing that. That's how like vivid our senses can be. Am I supposed to acknowledge the thoughts that come up or correct the thoughts? No, you never correct the thoughts. You never correct the thoughts. No. Mm-mm. So what if the thoughts come up? What does that mean? Nothing. Just let the thoughts come up. They're going to start triggering you though. You got to deal with the trigger. The thoughts try to connect the trigger. So the trigger comes up and then your mind starts like chattering off, oh, it's all these reasons. It's because you're not in the right state. So you just deal with the trigger, feel it, shut off the mind, and then go about your day, and then reimagine, like give yourself what you need through the technique. So let's say, hypothetically, you're trying to manifest, I don't know, a job at Google. I always use this example. I'm gonna laugh if I get a job there one day, because I'm always talking about Google. Let's say you're trying to manifest being the VP of operations at Google. And let's say I'm imagining living in the end, being at my computer in the office on my little bouncy ball, right? Because they're like a fancy schmancy little place. And I'm just like, and then I'm like, you know, in living in the end, imagining like my secretary bringing me my files. And then I'm like, oh, but I don't have the job yet. This is bullshit, right? Like we're just saying that's where my mind is going. Then I recognize that while I'm in those thoughts come up, that it's kind of getting me from living in the end. So then I feel a trigger in my body. Where do I feel it? You're going to feel it somewhere, usually in the top half of your body. It's usually from your stomach up to your head. Where do I feel it? Okay, I feel it in my heart. Then shut off the mind. The thoughts are irrelevant. Thoughts don't mean shit. Turn the mind off, feel it in your body. Wait until you get it down to a 0. You just feel into it, feel safe, shut your mind off, and just feel the feeling. And the feeling there is maybe, what am I feeling? If I'm thinking about it and then it's like, oh, I don't have it. You know, maybe it's that that it's not working, that I'm a failure, right? We're just saying that's what's coming up. Well, I haven't manifested this job yet. I'm a failure. That's what's coming up. And then my mind's trying to chatter it off while I'm living in the end. You shut the mind off. You go, no mind, we're shutting off right now. You can really shut your mind off if you learn how to do this. I do it all the time. I'll be honest, a lot of times I don't even care what I'm feeling. I just feel it and shut my mind off, and I just feel it in my body. I've gotten that good at it. So you're gonna feel it in your body, you're gonna feel it in your heart, and then you're just gonna like focus on the feeling, nothing else, not a story, not nothing. And, you know, even if the mind tries to chatter, you shut it off again, and you go, okay, when you feel like a failure, what do you usually feel? Like you're a loser, like you're not good enough. You just feel into that. And then you're gonna label it. How strong is the feeling right now? It's 6, okay. And then you're just gonna feel into it and just allow it, just feel it, allow it to be there. It's just, a feeling in the body is resistance. It's a trigger. It's nothing more than hunger, or you being tired, or you being hungry, or having to fart or burp. Do you judge those feelings? No. If you're tired, you go take a nap, right? Or you fall asleep. If you're hungry, you go eat. If you have to burp, you let it out. If you have to fart, you let it out, right? If you have to go to the bathroom, if you have to go pee, you go pee. Same thing. Why are you judging the feeling? It's just a feeling. So you feel it, you get it down to a 0. And then when you're done, right, you give yourself what you need before you entertain this state. So if I felt like I was a failure and not good enough, then how do I give that to myself so I don't feel that in the future? So once let's say right now after you feel through it, you're gonna get yourself down to a 0, and then you're gonna be like, okay, what is the opposite of this feeling? Even if you don't know what it is, like what the emotion is, let's say it's just feeling uneasy or like you can't succeed, right? Or it could be just like feeling like a failure. You need to focus on being a success then, right? Feeling like you're good enough and that you can do anything. So let's say, okay, now after I'm done with that and I'm feeling good and I get the feeling down to a 0 after you deal with the resistance, you're gonna say, what would the version of, you could say like, you could either do you could do this a number of ways, but let's say you're gonna use affirmations to do this. So I'm gonna say ask-formations, I like them better. How does it feel to be the version of me that knows she can never fail? How does it feel to be the version of me that always feels that everything's always working in her favor, even when she thinks it isn't? How does it feel to be a total success? How does it feel to have everything I've ever wanted and more? How does it feel to be more than good enough? How does it feel to be that person that has it all? That woman. Boom, I just got in the state. I gave myself what I needed to. And then after that, right, after I give myself what I want, I would re-entertain me being at Google. So I would imagine myself at my little desk typing away, and then my secretary, Barbara, bringing me the file and me being like, and her being like, congratulations on your 6 months here. Thanks, Barbara. And I take the file, end of scene. That's how you deal with resistance. And And I'm not saying you have to use your imagination. You could do that anyway. Does that make sense? You're welcome. I started my journey in November and now I'm really at peace. That's good. Okay, any advice for intrusive thoughts? Just let them be there. Shut them off though. The intrusive thoughts are not keeping you from what you want. The intrusive thoughts are just letting you know the state you're entertaining. And then usually after an intrusive thought, right, a thought that doesn't feel good, you have something in your body. You just have to feel it, release it, give yourself the opposite of what you just felt. So if you feel like not good enough, you need to give yourself feeling good enough. You need to feel like a prior, whatever it is that you need. And then you entertain the version of you that has what you want. That's about it. All right, guys, I know this was quite a weird live today because so many distractions. I don't know if I'm going to be doing them on my patio. I used to love doing them out here in the back in the day, but I'm also kind of tired, so it's a weird day for me. I don't know how often I'm going to be doing lives, maybe just once a week. Don't think I'll be doing, well, I might do one later this week. Just remember, when it comes to manifesting, shit isn't hard. It's only hard because you think it's hard. And a lot of you, and I understand you guys have questions about your SP, but what does it matter if you're going to end up with them anyways? Just focus on becoming the version of you that has them and become the version of you that can maintain them, because manifesting a specific person back isn't fucking hard. It's easy. And I know some of you are going to be like, Maria, but it is hard. It's not. That's why you see a lot of like schmucks on here. Yes, I'm using the word schmucks, teaching you through techniques how to get them back. Keeping your SP is the tough part. Okay, I'll be honest with you. This is what people struggle with the most. You know how many people have come to me and have lost their SPs like 1,000,000 times? It's because they're too obsessed with getting them. And obsessed isn't even the right word. They're just too hyper-focused on this person. I need this person to feel a certain way. Well, guess what? If you keep being hyper-focused and needing this thing to feel a certain way, you're not going to be able to keep them. Because you're going to think that you're going to need them to feel a certain way. You need to become those things. And then you'll be able to keep them. There's nothing wrong with getting a specific person. There's nothing wrong with using techniques, but quick fixes aren't going to get you the long-term goal that you want. Become the version of you that remembers who they are and knows how to deal with the resistance, and then that feels loved, cherished. Do you get what I'm saying? Adored, whatever you need to maintain them. When you do affirmations, do you pause between? No, I don't usually. Hold on, I'm gonna let Chip, stop it. All right, I'm gonna go. The dog's getting antsy and I got stuff to do, but great seeing you all. I'll announce the next live. Probably, I don't know, maybe I'll do one tomorrow. Seeing how I feel. Have a good night.